thinking with that.
They probably aren't.
Oh, yeah.
I
hope they
also
don't.
found out that the YouTube will enter basically mobile layout if your window is too small. Right? Like I've shrunk
Yeah,
my
it
window on my
looked-
desktop, and then if I scroll down, it's like the no matter whether it's in theater mode or not, the video takes up the whole screen. Right? If you go down to like the minimum size that a video could take up, and then if you scroll, it has like all the recommendations first, and then it's got the comments under. Like this is just the mobile layout.
Yeah, it looks like a mobile layout to me. But I don't know why mine switched to that. And of course, by the way, I ordered dinner. I was taking a nap, and it's getting here like right now.
Okay.
So hope like in the next minute or two.
Well,
Right.
I haven't eaten yet, and I don't know when I'm going to, because I've got back-to-back shows today where I actually have to host the second one. So, yeah, it's gonna be a rough one. That's why I had to run out and grab some brain juice before we went out, because I need sugar to fuel my otherwise empty body.
Mm-hmm.
So welcome to the Vomitorium, everyone. As always, I'm your host, Metal, and joining me is my co-host, Marsupial Gamer. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Just I'm just working until moving day, and just I'm here.
Yeah. We're both going to be moving really soon. I actually found out when the window is, so mine's probably going to be quite a bit after yours. We're going to be moving, I think, at the end of June.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I ended up talking to a real estate agent about getting an apartment. So
Yeah.
hopefully
that's
they're
good.
going to find me one. Yeah. Aiming to be in a new apartment by June 1st.
I feel like the
latest.
real estate agent is always the route to actually go.
I guess,
The reason
yeah.
why is because even if you have bad credit or whatever, they're smooth talkers. Like that's their whole job, is to hook you
Yeah.
up with things. So they'll find you something,
They're working for you, yeah.
as opposed to like you searching on your own and having to jump through other people's hoops that you don't even know if it'll be worth jumping through the hoop or not.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, like after I talked to them, I was like, I wonder if I should be looking at like actually buying a house. Because did I tell you this before? Like it seems like it might actually be easier for me to buy a house than rent an apartment.
Well, if you are planning to buy a house, I would probably do it now, because we're
Yeah.
about to hit into a market crash that's probably going to heavily hit the housing market, especially.
Well, I
with
wanna
the
wait until
announcement. Yeah.
I want to wait until the crash happens, right?
Well, yeah,
And then
you
if
can
the
do that, but
prices go way
the
down.
problem is like the prices are going down, but I think availability is going to be hurt too because of the nature of like what things like BlackRock and Vanguard have been doing.
Yeah, buying them
Right.
up, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if waiting for the crash will actually be a benefit this time around. It might be, but it's up in the air.
Well, I gotta say,
Yeah.
like I just was searching last night on the internet, and looking for a house online is a little rough. I mean, you gotta see it in person. But
Oh yeah.
what's funny is I was looking for like, I wonder if there are any like foreclosures, and there was one house that was like $200,000 that looked like a really, nice house for 200,000, and then I looked at there were pictures online, and it was like, oh, this thing's been like abandoned for a while. It looked like it used to be a crack house or something. There's all kinds of shit everywhere, and
Again, that's
be a
why
nice fixer-upper.
Real estate agent. If you're long distance,
Yeah.
you could have them FaceTime and show you the house with like a camera.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
in this case, it had lots of pictures, but it just, yeah. I don't think I have time to deal with a fixer-upper.
No.
I'm gonna go grab my food 1 second.
I'm gonna let Fizzozo in. Hey, Fizzozo, how you doing? If you're talking, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
I'm back.
Oh, there you
I
go.
need the war room. So, hi everybody.
Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Guys, I need to jump out for a second. It looks like my food may have been left at the wrong door, so I need to go hunt for it.
Okay. Go find.
So
your
I'll be
food.
back in like 5 minutes. Sorry about that.
His what got left at the wrong door?
His food.
Food I ordered from Uber Eats, but I don't know where they left it. Bye. Be right back.
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I saw Renfield earlier this week.
Oh, my condolences.
Yeah. That was actually very good. Of course, Nicolas Cage did a great job as Dracula, although he wasn't on the screen that often. Actually, well, he's a villain. He's a main antagonist in the movies. So of course, he ain't gonna be on the screen as often as the main character is.
Well, I mean, the movie's not called Dracula, so.
Yeah, it's about the Renfield character again, which well, a lot of people don't know. I mean, most people don't know who that character is. I mean, ask my parents; they didn't know who that character is.
Most
Renfield
people
is that.
haven't read Dracula.
I mean, he was in the movies, but even in the movies, he's not a main focus. Just kind of there. You don't call attention to him.
Well, I was even talking to my dad about this earlier because he was watching Van Helsing, which is funny, is because the character of Renfield was pretty much replaced by Igor, who's another character that was never in any books. He was made for the Frankenstein movie, and he functioned the same. He was just Dracula's assistant, who was only Igor because he was working under Dr. Frankenstein to get his project done for Dracula. And they really should have just called him Renfield at some point in the movie, but they didn't.
Yeah. But even in the movie, everyone recognizes Dracula, and nobody recognizes Renfield.
Well, of course, people recognize Dracula. He's Dracula.
Like nobody's suspicious because he doesn't use an alias. He doesn't use an alias in the movie. Yet nobody's suspicious. You know, everybody in the movie's universe knows Dracula. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't question that he might be working for Dracula or nothing.
Why should they?
Right?
Like,
Yeah.
even going off of like the original book, right? Like the whole purpose of the character is so that Dracula could have an inconspicuous person that could do things for him during the daytime.
So,
yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed your movie, like you said you did.
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
There's no sequel hook or anything. It's just a standalone film, of course.
It would be weird if it had a sequel hook. I mean, there's not an actual sequel to Dracula unless you count Konami's Castlevania series.
No. At the end of the movie, they killed Dracula. At the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And when I say kill him, they literally chop him up to the little cubes. So.
I'm back.
Oh, did you get your food?
Yes. I don't know if it's the same driver or what, but occasionally they'll drop it off at 8:30 instead of 8:20, which is my number. And it's like, can you not read or what is going on here? But it's funny. It's consistent. They always drop it off at 8:30. It's like, obviously 5 houses down. So
Maybe the driver is mildly dyslexic. And
maybe, I
thinking that
guess.
2 is a 3, yeah.
I guess, or whatever that learning disability is, he has it.
There's
Oh well. Sorry about that. I
there actually is
didn't
one.
mean
I
to time this.
Can't remember what it is. There is a specific name for people who have like a form of dyslexia, but for math.
Yeah.
Or dysgraphia.
Yeah, dysgraphia. That's it.
I'm guessing he just didn't look very closely.
Probably. Most people are just lazy.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, yeah, like I said, I saw a post on Twitter earlier today, and why don't American fantasy writers write about anything outside of European fantasy? But mostly because people lazy, in my opinion. They just don't want to have to explain to the
Mm.
audience what these concepts are.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily laziness. I mean, there are a lot of lazy writers out there. I think there is a market for familiarity, right? Like jumping in on something that's already established, you almost guarantee that you're going to get people to look at it.
Hmm.
It's kind of just a smart business practice. It's like why is the largest volume of books every year just like urban fantasy young adult novels? Because it's a self-feeding cycle. It's the one that sells the most, so everybody wants to be part of it.
Don't they always have female protagonists who are
No,
who
not always, but often.
teenage girls who discover vampires or something, or they don't discover vampires, discover some other supernatural being, and that they're somehow special?
Mike Walters says that he believes the math version of dyslexia is called dyscalculia. That would also make sense.
Well, speaking of writing, the Writers Guild of America is on strike.
Yeah, I know. Saw yesterday.
Thank fucking God.
I know. Yeah,
maybe I think that's a good thing. Is maybe the film companies can rely on other groups.
Well,
right.
Here's the thing: if it's anything like last time, film writers aren't necessarily part of the Writers Guild of America. Some are. There's some crossover between film and TV. A lot more today than there used to be, but it was mostly the TV writers. Which is why films were still had writers on them back in the last strike, but all TV shows were shut down.
And they had to move to reality TV shows, since reality TV shows just improv a lot of times.
But luckily, all of the shitty late night talk shows have already announced they're shutting down because of the strike.
Mm-hmm. Because of course they can't write their own shit.
Yeah, well, isn't the whole point of having a comedian up there is so that they could write their own shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not really comedians, though. Political lecturers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is why Leno was doing strong during the last one, because he was one of the few people that was actually up there writing his own stuff for the most part. Like, yeah, he still had help, but he was the lead writer when he was running the show.
But I'll tell you, this is the time for indie writers to shine.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they're not going to have any competition for a while.
TV, TV rise. Wait, I don't think TV use rise anymore. Don't cable just have reality TV shows and
there's
streaming just has
this would affect streamer services, possibly.
Yeah, streaming.
So, one of the big things is a lot of the people working on these streaming shows are part of the WGA, and they would have to stop writing for these shows or any movies they're also on if they're part of it, or else they'll get kicked out of it, which could hurt their future if the Writers Guild continues to have power after this strike.
Well, here's the thing, though.
Like me, who doesn't give a shit about your picket line and never wants to join the Writers Guild, if you want to hire me to write your show, I'll gladly take money.
And here's the thing. A lot of people who are not in the Writers Guild are, stopping in solidarity.
Yes.
And I thought I saw some comic book art, like writers, if I can find it. The Twitter account Master of TDS had a bunch of, one of those collages of tweets. And I was thinking, because I saw some names in there, I was like, ooh, like, does this mean some comic books are going to be shutting down?
We might
of course, comics,
some movies and some games too.
No, probably not, because comic books mostly rely on college people, hiring people out of college or something. I don't know.
Tom King.
Yeah.
Tom King is one that says he stopped work today in solidarity with the WGA. And I'm like, now I know comics usually have a lag time of like 6 months.
Yeah. So
like when they put together a comic, it usually doesn't come out for a while. But this could be a good opportunity for Comicsgate. If Marvel and DC have to basically shut down.
No,
they'll go to college students that aren't part of the guild or anything before they'll hire a Comicsgate person.
They get college students exactly because
No.
most of these writers aren't really writers anyway. They just making their own self inserts,
No,
Yeah,
you
but
know what they'll go
and
to?
making characters.
I'm not suggesting Marvel and DC are going to hire comics creators. I'm saying write your own books, come out with indies to cover the gap.
Oh, well, see, I don't think this will make a difference because the industry books have been so shit anyway that like it's been the
Well-
opportunity for Comics Game. Like I really don't think they'll be
But
unless you
there's
go to your
literally nothing
local-
new.
KK's
Yeah.
not going to get big anyways. All you do is rely on crowdfunding and that's it. So he's not going to get Comics Game's never going to get big anyway.
It's already big.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty big.
I mean, the
what they
only
need to
person,
do,
the only
though-
person that's really big is Young Ripper with Ice Arm, and that's it. That's only because he has a massive channel.
What people need to do is they need to print extra and go to LCSs. Now you're not going to get across
Yeah.
the country, but you at least need to be in your local store if you want to be selling to people. And it's pretty easy. Like
Yeah.
most LCS,
But
they'll
this is
take
what- this
like
is what I'm
20
saying.
copies, leave it on a shelf, and be like,
Yeah.
you can give me a cut if it sells. If not, it just stays there. I'll pick up the bulk later.
Yeah. And this is what I'm saying is that, like,
Yeah.
okay, they're going from shitty comics to no comics. Like, they don't have anything new. You know, Wednesday rolls around, there's nothing coming in. Go in and see if they want comic. Like, hey, here's something brand new that nobody's seen before.
No, this
Put
but
that
just
on the
get
shelf.
manga. The comic stores just get manga.
Oh, that's
Comic
true.
stores usually
That's
don't
true.
have manga. I've been to comic stores. Some of the bigger ones do. Most of them don't even carry manga. You go to like Barnes and Noble if you want to get manga. A lot of them don't even
Yeah.
have like the most recent Shonen Jump, which they should be carrying the magazines like Shonen Jump.
Mhm. Yeah, well, so Mike Walter said you would think DC and Marvel would be smarter and not get involved. It's not
The
the
writers.
executives. It's it's the lower down writers who are going to do it and basically
But that's how anything
shoot
is.
themselves in the foot.
Right? Like executives don't care about the union other than that they have to keep them happy. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
Here's the thing. Why do they even care about the union? Just find. They got to be multiple organizations that have writers that supply writers. It can't just be
So-
just this one.
Here's the problem. There isn't. Right? There is one large writers union that the people that usually aren't a part of it are people outside of the TV industry. But that's it. That is the one big
And then-
union.
and then you've
That's
got
just,
things,
that's just stupid.
and then you've got organizations like SIFWA, the Science Fiction Writers Association, and that's just completely infected from bottom to top with
Yeah.
far left crazy people. So
But that's they should get rid of that. Doesn't that violate monopoly laws?
No, unions don't have monopoly laws
They're not. But how is it? Wait.
because unions are nonprofit. I mean, they
What?
make
Yeah.
profits, but they're registered as nonprofit.
yeah,
But this is the dumb. Why you relying on organizations to pick writers for your properties? It shouldn't your company, if you're a large company, shouldn't you pick your own writers based on who got best hit list track
I mean,
record,
if
got
I-
best track record?
if I were in charge at Warner or Disney, and all of my comic book writers walked off, I would seriously look at indies.
I
I'd
would
be
do.
like, oh, what is this Comicscape group? What is that? That sounds like a
Not even
new
just
guild.
comics, they're playing
Fizz,
about-
I
they're
think
playing
you're
about-
looking at it backwards, though, right? Yes, sometimes people go into the union knowing that there are associates and stuff that can help them get gigs. But typically, a lot of people get into the industry on a lower end job. Maybe they're writing episodes for a soap opera or something like that, right? And once they get bigger or have been in there a while, they join the union because they know everybody else they know is part of the guild. They become part of the guild too. It helps opportunities. It's something that, because of its prominence, people opt in to join it, and not the other way around.
Well, I would think that this would be a time when people are going to be looking for alternate forms of entertainment because nothing new's coming out, and it just could be a good.
I think streaming is going to have tons of reality TV shows. It's just like what cable did.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna watch it.
Can you imagine streaming will be filled with nothing but reality TV shows?
I don't think streaming can do that like cable could, right? So the thing with cable is it's on, right? Like it's a constant feed. So you just leave the channel on or you flip the channels. It's not like video on demand where you have to go and pick what you're looking for. There's some reality shows that might do fine on that because there are some people who just opt in to watch them, certain game shows and stuff. But I don't think like they can get away with doing Jersey Shore and a bunch of awful shit like that on streaming services like they could on TV. It's a different platform.
I mean, I think, you know, like my TV can get YouTube, and that's that's my primary streaming service that I use. So, you know, for entertainment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people will be looking for things like that.
I don't think this strike is going to be effective for them. If anything, I think it's going to hurt them because this mostly affects TV, right? It'll affect some of like the Netflix and stuff like that, but it mostly affects TV, which is already a dying platform. People are aging out of it. And like people barely watch these late night shows. They have to fake trending it on YouTube to get people to even watch clips of it.
I know.
And then when
TV, the reason why I don't watch TV that much because most just reality TV shows don't have scripted shows that often anymore.
And the big problem too is even when it comes to these streaming services, most people aren't watching them, right? Like there's people who have them, but most people aren't. You look at like even The Mandalorian, the view numbers just aren't up there like old TV shows are. It doesn't match like Hell on Wheels where you had to pay extra for AMC to watch that. The big thing is most people watch stuff like Twitch and YouTube and things like that. They don't need TV anymore. So this is literally just a shot to their own foot. That's all this is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the scripted shows, nobody watches them because is it because they're poor quality or is it because nobody's interested in scripted TV shows anymore?
It's a mix of the quality's not that good, and nobody's watching TV. Period. Right? Like the audience for TV is I don't know, probably slightly older. It's like the half generation step above Marsupial, right? And it's going to stay there because they're not getting any new people in there. So it's that half generation above Mars here is just aging out of the TV bracket, right? Like they're the oldest members of them are all dying off.
Yeah.
And just it's not picking up new people.
I mean,
So
my
nobody
sister is 56 and she doesn't have TV at all.
No,
She doesn't have cable.
No, I ain't talking about cable. I'm talking about streaming shows. So you saying nobody wants scripted streaming shows at all?
No, I'm sure people want them. It's just like they're not enough to actually get people to watch them. And part of it is you have to pay for it, right? That's a big thing. While you could just go on YouTube and watch shit for free.
Mm-hmm. Plus, there's a whole backlog. I mean, for the internet, you had what was on TV or you had to buy a movie or rent it.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's a whole backlog of the entire Hollywood history at your fingertips. You don't need to watch something new. You could watch something you've never seen from 1975.
Oh, there's such good stuff too.
I mean,
you can even watch something from just like a couple decades ago. I've never watched all the way through Deadwood, and I'm thinking of doing that because I could use a good Western. You know?
Yeah, that's a good one. I've never watched Breaking Bad.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty
never
good one,
seen
too.
it. Like, you know, if I really get bored, it's there.
I'm thinking of going back and rewatching Have Gun Will Hire because I've probably only ever seen half of the episodes on reruns, and like I kind of want to watch the whole show. That was Gene Roddenberry before he did Star Trek.
Yeah. I recently been start trying to rewatching more of the original Mission Impossible show.
Oh yeah, I used to watch that. That's good.
I know I used to watch reruns of that. I want to watch the entire show.
You know the reboot. I think there was a reboot in the 80s of Mission Impossible. That's actually really good too.
I haven't seen it.
I thought.
Keep in mind, I don't like the Tom Cruise movies because I got exposed to Mission Impossible originally through a 60s show reruns.
The 60s show is really good. I like that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the problem. The problem with the Mission Impossible movies that they're not Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise. They're not Mission Impossible. They're really just action movies. Like that's not what Mission Impossible is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mission Impossible is supposed to be about guys sneaking around trying to do covert operations.
Yeah, I
Stuff.
noticed that you crashed trying to get your camera back
Wait, what?
on.
Wait.
Sorry, Discord
I
crashed for
crashed?
me.
No,
I
not
did.
you. Marsupial.
I'm back.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's so much good
Yeah.
stuff to watch.
Yeah, like
You know what? I would even say quality writing. Anytime you want to watch, like these shitty newer shows, because like nobody's gonna miss these writers that are on strike. They're not very good at their job. Anytime you want to watch one of these shows, just go back and be like, hey, is there an episode of Columbo you haven't seen? It's basically a mini movie. Just watch that instead, and you'll be happier.
Yeah. Seriously.
exactly.
Well,
You do have good news.
and oh, and just before we move on from this topic, just again speaking of indie writers, did you see Your Nerd Wonder has a book out on Indiegogo
I did.
called Behemoth, and it's a very Nerd Wonder style.
Yeah.
It's very comic-y and cutesy.
It's,
But
Texas
yeah,
local
I-
right there. Gotta support
Yeah.
the local comics.
yeah, I've been tweeting it out all day, and let's see, she's looking for $2,000, and at the end of one day, or hasn't even been one day, she's at almost 60%. She's got $1,155, and it's only been like 8 hours since she launched.
Yeah, well, if you've got the link for it, drop it in the chat.
Oh,
so people can
absolutely.
see it, yeah.
Yeah. Looks great if people are interested. Maybe we'll have her on. She's saying, she wants to do the talk show circuit. So.
Oh, yeah, I would love to have Nerd Wonder on.
Yeah.
I haven't had any
Yeah.
communication with her since we played Final Fantasy.
Yeah. So yeah, check this out when you get a chance. Behemoth by Nerd Wonder. Yeah, put it in the chat.
I did get the results for my survey, which if we want to go over that at the end of the show, we can.
Alrighty.
If anybody cares,
So what else? What else
So
is happening?
the most interesting thing that happened, right? I was excited because I happen to be a fan of the franchise, the overall franchise, and the side ones. You probably like it too. Is we got our trailer for the upcoming Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons.
This is another Double Dragon game.
Yeah. Looks great.
Oh, new game?
Yeah.
I have not seen it.
For their traditional 2D side-scrolling beat-up.
Should I bring it up? Was the last one that Double Dragon Neon?
Yeah.
I have that, but I never beat it.
It's going to be done by Modus Games and Secret Base, which, I mean, it looks good. I'm a little disappointed that Way Forward isn't doing it since they're handling the other River City stuff, but you can't do everything, especially when you're a company their size. But Secret Base looks like they're doing a good job with it from the trailer.
Let's see if we can see this.
Rated E10 for ages 10 and
Can you hear it?
I can. I don't want to hear them.
Do you want to?
No,
Oh, you don't
I
want-
got
I
it
can-
planned. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I see.
I'll mute it too.
Yeah.
I have not seen this. I didn't know this was coming out. Oh, what is that? Is this what it looks like, or is it?
Yeah. This is the game.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not what Double Dragon Neon looks like at all.
No. You could tell they're trying to fit the cartoony vibe that the Kunio-kun franchise has.
Yeah.
Which we're seeing River City Girls has their own version of it. This seems like a different take on if you were to update the old Kunio-kun stuff, which is not what Double Dragon used to look like. I think they're just trying to make it blend back into the franchise it came from.
Yeah, these are more like almost chibi.
Yeah, it's
Kinda
giving you very
characters.
Scott Pilgrim feels almost.
Yeah. They're kind of short and squat.
Yeah.
Whereas Double Dragon has always been kind of tall.
Yeah,
looking
almost
character.
superhero proportions.
Yeah.
Has anybody done a Saxon beat 'em up with polygons instead of pixels?
Yeah, there's been beat 'em ups with polygons.
No, like Saxon beat 'em up with polygons instead of pixels. Yeah, has anybody done that?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what Double Dragon Neon is?
Was Neon polygons?
I don't remember. I don't know if you wanted to watch it again, but
No, but I'm excited. I love Double Dragon.
is it Billy and Bimmy?
It's
Billy and Jimmy?
Billy and Jimmy. Yeah.
Billy.
I'm also love Battletoads, although the last game was terrible. I heard.
Oh, the last
Terrible,
game looked like a Cyber Chase. It looked like a Discovery Kids cartoon.
No,
yeah.
And he made Dark Queen not Dominatrix. It was dumb. Like these all.
Yeah, no, I hated it. It wasn't Battletoads. I got the real Battletoads right here next to me.
Yeah, because the Battletoads is supposed to be rated R. Like you're not supposed to be kid friendly. Like supposed to be
I don't know
kinda-
if I'd say R. Maybe like
they'll
a
done.
really strong T. I don't know if they actually cross over to M, but like a
Yeah,
really
they
strong
did cross
T.
over. No, they did actually cross
Oh.
over to rated R one of the games. Battletoads Arcade. What they had lots of
Well,
blood
they
action.
wouldn't call it R. They would call it M. We don't actually use R
yeah.
in video games.
Yeah,
But I don't know. I have the
rated M.
Battletoads arcade game right next to me, and I played it, and it just looks like a strong T. I mean, maybe they were harsher back then. I could see it, but it's not even like Mortal Kombat level.
So you can play as Marion.
You can, yeah.
Like, yeah.
With a gun.
You trying to make Battletoads like a kiddie thing? Like, no, that doesn't really work. Like,
Dude,
that
Pepsi machine.
What?
There was a Pepsi machine in that last scene. I think it said like Bipsis.
Oh, Bibs.
Bibis.
What is it?
This is Bibis.
What is Bibis?
It's Pepsi.
Oh, okay. Bibis. And then this guy with a shield.
Here's the funny thing.
Oh,
I didn't
nice
actually
dude.
look to see voice acting or not. I wonder if they're going to try to keep it the same. Do you know who voiced Billy and Jimmy in River City Girls?
No.
Aaron Hansen and Dan Avidan from Game Grumps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fight the gangs.
They were shop owners in the city. They were in two different dojos where they taught you your skills. Yeah, and it was Ego Raptor and Danny Sexbang.
Is this supposed to be Rockstar? That R?
Yeah. I'm
Interesting.
excited.
Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons.
I love the River City franchise. I
Cool.
love Double Dragon. I'm definitely gonna play it.
Yeah.
The River City franchise. What?
Well,
that's a
in
franchise?
Japan, it's
Okay.
called Kunio-kun, but that's River City Ransom is the first game. Is the first Kunio-kun, and here in the States, every time they just call it River City something. So it's the River City franchise, and Double Dragon is a spin-off of that franchise, which takes place in the city like right next door.
Wait, I thought Double Dragon. I didn't know. I thought Double Dragon was his own game.
I mean, it kind of is, but it's in a larger series. So like, you don't need to play any of the River City games to understand what's going on in Double Dragon.
Okay. Because some spin-offs come more famous than Source Studio.
And the latest has been River City Girls. Is there a River City Girls 2?
Yeah.
Something like that. By Way Forward, they've been doing that.
Which is, I don't like that they're calling it River City Girls too. Just because like that's what people know now. People have been reintroduced to the franchise through River City Girls, but it's like the boys are playable characters from the beginning of the game. You might as well just give it another River City blank name. This is my problem where they went with Red Dead Redemption 2. That was a prequel to Red Dead Redemption, and there was already a Red Dead Revolver. I'm like, why didn't you just give it another Red Dead R name? Why call it Red Dead Redemption 2? I hate it when people do that with names.
It's like they decided, okay, River City Girls specifically is its own franchise.
That's what it feels like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most people just know Red Dead Redemption. Nobody even played Red Dead Revolver when that came out, right?
I didn't even know that existed until just
It's
now.
because it's a handheld game, and not a lot of people had it.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
quite a bit
Yeah,
had
they
the
called it
PSP
Red Dead-
specifically, but not the Vitas afterwards.
If they called it like Red Dead Retribution or something, I think people would get it.
Retribution
that it's the
actually
sequel.
was the name most people said it should have been.
Yeah,
You know,
that would have made sense.
Mm.
Hmm. Well, is that all you wanted to say about Double Dragon?
yeah, that. There's not too much to
When
say
is
on
it?
other than I'm excited.
Does it say? Let's see. Summer.
Yeah,
Coming
that's
this
all it
summer.
says. It doesn't have an actual date, just that it's the summer season.
On everything: PC, PlayStation, Xbox, Switch. Cool.
Yeah.
Did you see the other trailer that dropped today?
Video game trailer or movie trailer?
Movie.
Dune? Is that the one you're
Yeah.
thinking of? Because I know
Yeah.
you're excited for Dune. Yeah, I have that one pulled up to talk about.
No, I didn't see the first one.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
No, I mean, really could care less. I'm not interested in it. I know I was interested in Dune franchise.
No,
keep in
Dune
mind,
is one of the best like sci-fi franchises.
I mean, I watched the 80s movie and that was not very good. So, yeah.
Yeah, the '80s movie wasn't,
I
but
liked, what was it? Was it in the 90s or whatever? The TV miniseries that was made, I thought was pretty good.
I never saw that. Yeah, I heard it was good.
I mean,
But,
overall, it's not not really interesting. I mean, the conflict is what?
Kinda like-
his political party his forest political party gets destroyed. Okay, I'm not interested. Okay, that's not.
No, that's fine if
Well,
you're not
well,
interested. We are, and a bunch of people are.
Yeah, it's kind of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
in
but
that
I
it's,
don't like
you know,
Game of Thrones.
these houses.
I don't like Game of Thrones. Yeah, I
Well,
wasn't really interested.
well,
in
a lot
Game
of
Thrones.
people. Okay, you have to understand. People love politics. You may not be interested, but people in general love politics. They don't like dealing with it in their own lives, but they love the drama that comes with it in a fictional world. So it's nice to live vicariously through the problems of other people instead of the problem of your own life.
Because
That's
keep in
true.
mind, when I read the character bios of the characters in Game of Thrones, the only character I was ever interested in was Jon Snow, because he actually has a traditional hero story. He's not about
Yeah, they did
politics
him.
with him. He's not about
They did
politics
it-
with him. He's just fighting undead.
They did him dirty in the show in season
did.
7 and 8 though. They really did him dirty. Oh boy.
He's fighting intelligent undead, which is interesting. That's the only
Yeah.
thing I seem to be interested in. If you can make a show about that, but it shows about politics. But I don't give a damn.
Oh, I love shows about politics. That's why I watch Gundam.
I don't. That's why I don't watch Gundam. Actually,
Well, it's more than, I mean, Dune. There's a whole house that just like obliterates the other house, and
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
there's
so
also
there's
way
lots
more
of
going
fighting.
on too. There's a lot of it's very very sciencey. It's magicy, but it's sciencey too. Like the whole like how do the sandworms work and how does the spice actually flow, which informs the politics and the economics. But there is also this rich world there too. And
Yeah.
that's
but
one
they
of the
don't-
reasons people
but-
like
but-
Dune.
But you don't really explore that. It's not about exploring the rich world.
Well, I mean, the book they do, so it just depends on how well it adapts the book.
Yeah, but like that. That's why I can never get into Dune. I don't like politics. Even in my stories, I don't give a damn about politics. I don't,
Well-
only care about politics.
I'm gonna let you know when you're writing your own stories, if you don't give a damn enough about at least the internal politics of your world, you're going to greatly limit the number of people that will read your stuff.
The politics only matter how it affects regular people, because that's the only thing I want to focus on.
Okay, I mean
that's
that's
one
how
way that you can.
most
go.
politics and shows work too. It's like
No,
even
no,
in
the
Game of
show-
Thrones, there's tons of politics that they show you how it affects regular people. That's even
Yeah,
how
yeah.
like most of the rulers and stuff get humbled is because they see how their decisions end up affecting normal people.
But here's the thing. No, that's not the thing. Here's the thing. When I don't like shows focusing around politicians. That's the thing. I don't give a. since since like the shows about politics and about politicians, no, that's why I don't like Game of Thrones, because I don't really care.
Well, I mean, that's perfectly fine. I'm just telling you the truth about things, you know?
It bores me. That's
You are
why-
in
that's why I don't
a
like-
very, very small minority of people.
Yeah, I'm a small minority of people on everything. So it doesn't mean it. Again,
As long as you're self-aware. Well, anyway, we don't need to watch the trailer for part 2, but
We don't have to
I
watch
don't- I
it,
don't-
talk about it. I've seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know?
but I saw the first one and I thought I've never read the books, but I have to say I thought it was an improvement over the 1980s
Yeah.
movie.
My only problem has been, and it's the same time I see her in anything, is Zendaya. I think she did a horrible job as the character in the first movie, and she's gonna
Yeah, she wasn't in
continue
it
to do
very
a whole-
much.
Yeah, but she's going to be in it more in this one because the character is more prominent in this part of the story.
Yeah.
She's going to do an even worse job in it. She was not fit for the role in the first place, and she keeps getting shoved into roles she's not fit for.
yeah, like MJ and MCU, but again, I don't think she's a really good actress. I think she's just kind of there for diversity points. That's why I'm always try to hide her.
Yes.
Well, I mean, she got into the industry through Disney shows, so I mean, that's how a lot of people they just end up there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, in the original movie, though, the character, I don't remember
Yeah.
the name, she wasn't very good
Chani.
either. Yeah. The actress that they had in the 80s movie
No,
wasn't
she
very
wasn't.
good either.
In the miniseries was pretty good. I mean, she actually played the role. The miniseries in general was also just a lot closer to the book. They had more time to deal with things.
no, the only here's the thing with the original Dune movie. The only part of that movie that seemed interesting is when the house gets destroyed. After the house gets destroyed,
Yeah.
we skipped over all that. Instead, just
You kidding? The most interesting part was when they were wandering through the desert.
no. After the house got destroyed, I said,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
but skip through all that. That's the problem.
Well, they extended it a lot in this movie
Yeah.
because they split it up into 2 different movies, and there was a whole big thing where they're I don't know. I didn't. Well, I mean, they did have a scene where they're, they're in like in ruins. It looks like underground, and they get attacked,
I think the big
and they have to
mistake,
flee.
and I think we talked about this before you'd even seen the first part when we were talking about the trailers and stuff like that, or even the announcement. Dune shouldn't have been a live-action movie. It should have been animated, and it should have been larger than life, especially with the worms and stuff. Dune would have been great as an animated film.
Yeah, but this is America. We can't really do that. Expect people to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Not anymore, apparently. You used to be able to.
No. I mean, not for adult movie.
No, you used to be able to do that a long time ago.
That's about 100 years ago, though.
Not quite. I would say 75-ish. It was closer to the 3/4 part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if like the existence of things like Saturday morning cartoons kind of ingrained in the American psyche that
Hanna-Barbera.
cartoons are only for children.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah. It's kind of strange. But even back then, like in the late 70s that they did the Rankin Bass Lord of the Rings.
No, that
Movies.
was what's his name? The guy who directed for
Oh,
Bob-
wait. I know his name.
Bak-
Rakshi.
he did-
Or Bakshi.
Yeah,
Bakshi
he
was his
did.
name.
He did Lord
He
of
did
the
the
Rings.
first
and
Lord
he
of the
did-
Rings.
Oh.
Rankin Bass
So I think of
did
The Hobbit.
Return of the King and then
Oh.
afterwards Hobbit.
Okay.
But Ralph Bakshi, he also did Fire and Ice and stuff like that.
I just remember The Hobbit scared the crap out of me as a kid because that scene with Gollum was really scary.
Dude, I love The Hobbit. I'll
He's
go
a-
rewatch that movie anytime. It's my favorite.
Yeah. Like the old one?
Yeah.
The old animated one?
I used to have it growing up, and I would just rewatch it over and over again. I can sing like all the songs in that movie from like memory.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but like no, I really remembers the animated token stuff. These remember the Peter Jackson films and yeah.
I think there's plenty of people who remember it. I think the bigger problem is that there's just generations who didn't grow up on it, right? After the new ones came out, uh, just why go back and teach a new generation about the old stuff?
Mm.
Well, speaking of animation, Mario Brothers has passed $1 billion.
I saw. I wanted to talk about that.
In
That's
sales.
actually really, really exciting that it passed $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, it only just opened up in Japan and South Korea last week,
Yeah.
last Friday and Wednesday. So that hasn't even been out for it's been out for 1 week in South Korea.
It is
it's-
looking to be the highest grossing animation film of all time, even counting inflation.
What was the highest before? Was it
I actually
Frozen 2 or something?
think it was Minions. So Frozen 2 had the highest like box office weekend
Opening.
or whatever, right? Opening weekend.
Yeah.
But total box office, Minions held the record, and it
All
looks
about
like it's going to
Illumination.
pass that up. And I think there was another one that it was a disputed record. There was technically like an older animated film way back. I can't remember what it was, but if you count inflation, it was slightly higher. But it's looking that Mario's just going to kill everything.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, Metal. What would be just the perfect animation studio to make a Zelda movie?
Perfect
Yeah,
animation studio to make a Zelda movie. Well, if John Bluth had finally finished his studio, which has still just been sitting there doing nothing for like 5 years now, that would have been. I'm trying to think like studios that are actually doing things. Personally, I would prefer it to be 2D, but nobody wants to do 2D.
So, according to Wikipedia, you're completely wrong.
Was it? I thought it was Minions. Well,
Everyone knows. Sorry, going back to the highest grossing animated movies of all time.
yeah. I thought it was Minions. That's what
Yeah.
I was told was
Oh.
it was Minions.
Minions is number 5.
5.
apparently.
Okay, what is it?
Number 1 is the newest Lion King remake, which I guess was
No.
That is
technically
100%
computer-generated.
animated. Yeah.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
feel
so
like that's
one-
inflated because I don't even know anybody who went to see that.
Number 2 is Frozen 2. Number
Oh.
3 was Frozen 1. And number 4 was Incredibles 2.
Oh.
And Super Mario Brothers movie is number 8. But still got a ways to go. It's about to pass Toy Story 3 and Toy Story 4. So
See, the numbers I was seeing are completely different from that, but yeah, I don't know.
yeah, I don't.
I feel the Frozen stuff I believe. I 100% believe the Frozen. I have my doubts on believing the Lion King one because that movie wasn't popular at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It says it's coming from Box Office Mojo. The data.
Yeah, I don't know.
Frozen 2. I don't know. Nobody even talks about that movie anymore. It seems like.
Frozen 2 was vastly successful, like widely. People loved that movie. Well, kids did anyway. I think it was better than the first one because at least it had a plot. The plot was dumber, but the first one, the plot changed like halfway through writing, and it kind of destroyed the momentum of the movie. I think Frozen 2 is stupid. It's a really dumb movie, but kids loved it, so that's all that matters. Can't be worse than the fourth
Well.
Little Mermaid.
Highest grossing animated franchises. Oh, okay. That includes multiple movies. But yeah, it's about to jump up to yeah, I can't find the top of this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's about to jump up to number 6. And
Okay.
yeah.
Well, it
How
still
did
has
the
a
Lion
too.
King remake make $1.6 billion?
I don't believe it did. I actually don't believe that it did.
How? I mean, wait. Did the whole world just instantly fall in love with seeing a photorealistic Lions and Lion King, they don't
Well,
show any. They
here's the
don't show
thing
any.
too, and we know this about Disney. Disney has been sinking its own ship by inflating the box office of a lot of its movies within the last like 5 or 6 years or so.
Okay, so here's an article that says that Disney considers The Lion King to be a live action reboot, even though it's all computer
It's
generated.
100%
I know.
animated. Yeah.
I know 100%
Yeah.
animated, just photorealistic, which is again, it's objectively a horrible movie, but
Yeah.
Oh, like in every way, the musical numbers aren't even as good as their predecessors in any form. We even hear like auto tuning, and there's a part I remember. Did you watch? Was it Your Movie Sucks? Right, with Adam, and he goes over it. There's a part where the kid playing Simba in I Just Can't Wait to Be King misses a note and they auto-tune it, but they auto-tune it to the wrong note. So even on the fixed end, it's wrong.
Wow.
why didn't you just tell him to re-record his line? Re-record.
Because this is not the Disney of yesteryear. Where they could
They're
they
probably
actually
like,
used to be able to fix
close
everything in
enough.
mastering. They could take people who had no singing talent and give them singing coaches and fix it in mastering and make somebody sound wonderful. And these now they have like Emma Watson destroying Beauty and the Beast.
Well, anyway, yeah. I mean, they've got obviously they're citing sources, and I clicked on a few of the sources, and apparently we've been lied to. Minions is only number 5, but
Yeah, I've been lied
Super-
to.
Super Mario Brothers is getting there. It's crawling up the ladder.
So I thought Frozen 2 was the one that had made the most, even as box office. Somebody corrected me and said it was Minions, and that's why I was going off of that.
Yeah, I think I heard that too. But
Yeah. Personally, I
would
still believe
listen.
it's Frozen 2. I don't agree.
Yeah.
I don't think the numbers are right for those other ones above it. But
there's only Lion King above
yeah,
it.
I don't think that's correct.
Yeah.
I think that's a highly inflated box office that was probably Disney buying their own tickets, kind of like they
Yeah,
did with
probably.
Endgame.
No, Captain Marvel. Most.
Oh no,
Captain Marvel, yeah.
and Endgame. I went to Endgame like very very early in a popular theater in my area that people go, and there was nobody in the theater except for us.
My theater was packed. My theater was packed when I went to see Endgame. But
Like I don't think it's as inflated as Captain Marvel, but I think Endgame was inflated too, massively.
like with
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
those are the official numbers. Believe it or not.
Yeah, no, I don't believe the official. I do still believe that Frozen 2 probably made it though. That one they didn't have to inflate it, at
Yeah.
all. Like there's nothing they
want-
would have to do to that number.
no, I wonder. I wonder why did Frozen ever become so successful?
No, the better question is why didn't Tangled become so successful? Because it's a much better movie. I wish kids like that one
Yeah.
so much.
No, yeah, I know, but why did Frozen ever become so successful? I mean, Frozen's like a not as good version of Tangled, but
It became
Tangled
successful
is-
because of the music and the time it came out and stuff. It was during a generational
Sort of the height of
Mm.
sort of the height of the new Disney kind of renaissance there, I think.
Yeah, but it's also like you have to look at the average years of generational changes and stuff. Tangled was sadly released in that like mid turnover between a generation, while Frozen is right there at the prominent time for that. And kids, you go in. I think it was released just before the Christmas season, running into it, so you could catch it right after Thanksgiving. A lot of families are looking for something to watch that Thanksgiving weekend,
Yeah.
and it was just the right time.
I mean, I know my kids watched it over and over and over again. That and Wall-E, for some reason, they love fucking Wall-E. But but you know, and then we went to Disney and Epcot, or not Epcot, yeah, it was Epcot. There was like almost all of Epcot was suddenly Frozen themed. Like not
Yeah.
even just Norway, but like everywhere. There's Frozen everywhere. Like they completely redid the whole Norway area,
Yeah, yeah.
and suddenly it was all.
Well, I think permanently.
Frozen.
I think they replaced Ariel's shell with like a Frozen thing.
Really,
I
when
remember
we went,
hearing
it was
years
still
ago
Ariel.
that it was just a few years ago. I think they said they were replacing Ariel's shell.
Like the ride, the Ariel ride.
No, like the big shell where there's like the lady playing Ariel sits in it because Ariel obviously can't walk around like the other people. The display one for the mascot. There was a big shell there, and they replaced it because they were just changing out old stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, last time we went, the Ariel ride was still there. Anyway, but yeah, they completely replaced the whole was it called Matterhorn? Something like that.
Matterhorn,
Yeah, they changed it into the Frozen ride or whatever. And yeah, my daughter wore a, Elsa dress and everything. So it was huge. It's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
No, I'm talking about from the story standpoint. Why was Frozen become huge?
Well, you have to understand, when it comes to kids, story standpoint doesn't really matter as much, right? What matters are, do they like the characters? Are the characters fun?
Oh, the characters. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Stuff
And the
like in the
songs.
movie.
Do they like the
They
songs?
really love the songs.
Which I have to say, the Frozen songs are really catchy. Like, really, really catchy. I enjoyed it the first time I watched it. Rewatching it, I was a lot more critical about the movie. I'm like, this movie's stupid with the plot and stuff. But the songs are really catchy. And do they like the visuals and stuff, right? I think they all did, right? But most of these kids also
resonated.
they didn't see Tangled either, a lot of them. So, like,
Yeah.
again, that's a generational issue. Tangled came out just before some of these kids would have started watching these movies.
Yeah, when Tangled came out, like my daughter was 2.
Yeah.
She wasn't old enough. But
Were
when
there
Frozen
people
came
older than
out,
us?
she
Yes, but
was 5.
usually get bulk of a generation, right? Like people come out, get born really close to the same, like 5-year periods, right? And that's just also centered around when people get old enough to start having kids, and you start to get these cycles. So there are people born in between. Obviously, there's people born every year, but you get like these bigger groups generationally, and they just happen to be right in the middle of a generational group.
I don't know.
Yep.
It's weird. It's just kind of like luck.
So some movies are successful because it's lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because
happened to come out just at the right time.
Yeah, but I get some movies I get why it's successful. Like Into the Spider-Verse is successful because the animation, and that's pretty much it.
Oh, I don't know why Into the Spider-Verse is successful. The animation makes me queasy looking at it.
Same thing here.
Yeah.
I actually, if you don't know, I couldn't tell you what happened to any of the fight scenes in that movie because the animation makes
It's
the
so
fight scenes
janky.
incomprehensible.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
No, it's not that. Not only the animation is janky. There's so many bright colors on screen at the same time that I couldn't really follow.
Oh, I mean, the bright colors don't bother me. It's the motion. It's how the things move on screen. And part of it is to disguise the fact that it's actually all 3D models.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. Wait, they didn't disguise the fact. It was obvious, but it's obviously 3D models. But they did janky on purpose because they want to make it seem like it's comic book pages, but that doesn't work. That didn't work. That confused me. Like, why not just have it be 2D if that was the case?
Yeah.
Because
I saw
cheaper to do 3D.
I saw it and I thought it was okay, but it wasn't like anything spectacular. It was just like,
I saw the trailer for
this is a decent movie.
new one, and I'm like, this looks like the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, Into the Spider-Verse was not a good movie. The story was actually pretty bad, actually. Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Like the story was not good. Like, I don't get why people say it's the best story ever seen. Like,
No, you
no.
also don't get why most people like anything.
Because I could keep I've been a Spider-Man fan since I was a kid. I grew up with Raimi films. This, like, when I walked on Into Spider-Verse, like, this is not very good. He becomes good at being Spider-Man because his dad, who already he never had conflict with, at least any major conflict, tells him that he loves them, which you already know. Like this,
I've never liked Miles as a character. He's definitely more likable in Into the Spider-Verse. He has more of his own personality instead of just being not Peter Parker. But it's like they didn't do anything to actually sell me on the character of Miles.
I grew up on the Spider-Man from the Electric Company,
I love the
who
Electric.
shot like ropes. What's that?
I said I love the Electric Company.
Yeah, he shot like ropes out, and it'd be like, I've got this like net on me all of a sudden. that was the Spider-Man of my childhood.
Speaking of shooting ropes, I was joking with Rick, but I might actually seriously make this a character because people really love local patriotic things and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, I'm just gonna make a Texas Spider-Man. I'm gonna call him the Texas Wrangler, and he has the ability to manifest ropes that he uses for lassos.
You should throw in like an inside joke, like, I used to work for the Electric Company.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Like I'll treat the character serious. Like the idea started the joke, but I would treat him like he's a serious character. But it'd be like basically the Texas
Where do the
version
ropes
of
come out
Spider-Man.
of?
I haven't decided yet. It's going to be something magic, like maybe it comes from some other dimension or something, but he manifests the ropes. And he uses them as lassos, like, because he's going to be fully Texas cowboy themed. He's going to have, like, red jeans in cowboy boots. He's going to have, like, a white button-down shirt, a blue vest with a big white star on the back, bandana, that he can pull up if he wants to, but it just usually hangs. Half cowl bandana with the eye slits, and then like a cowboy hat or whatever. Obviously, it's got to have like a band coming down because him swinging around and doing things is going to cause the hat to fly back and hang from his neck all the time. But it's just going to go full in on the Texas themes and stuff, and I think people would actually like it when I have time.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You say I don't get why regular people like anything. Yeah, of course I don't. Of course I don't. That's the thing.
Well, you need to figure it out
Normies.
because that's how you sell things.
Well, anyway, awkward silence.
Yeah, well, you can have an interesting and weird story, but you have to understand why people like things so that you can present it to them in a way that they'll give it a chance, you know?
Like there's one project I thought of just making that's gonna be a 3D webcomic that's just me literally just me venting out my hatred for isekai. So
Well, I don't think that it could. There's some parody comics and stuff that end up doing okay, but you have to sell it to people. And the problem is most people don't hate isekai, so like that's already going to be a hard sell. You're going to have to find the niche of people that want to laugh at that, that type of satire and stuff. And it can be hard to find. And even then, most people that like that type of stuff prefer it when it comes from a sincere perspective, right? Like one of my favorite webcomics is 8-Bit Theater. It's a sprite comic that makes fun of the original Final Fantasy, but it makes fun of it from the perspective of somebody who loves that type of stuff. And it's like 1,200 pages long or whatever. It's like 1,200 and change. And it's a great romp that makes fun of RPGs, both tabletop and video game. Makes completely fun of Final Fantasy, runs through the entire story, and points out all the stupid stuff of these kind of things. But, in the way that like somebody inside of a group gets to make fun of their own group, We do have other things to talk about. So, movie, right? I think this was announced very, very, very recently. There's a Gran Turismo trailer. So we're going to get a movie based off the video game Gran Turismo.
It's just going to be a rip off the early Fast and Furious movies, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of people would
Well-
assume that Need for Speed was instead of making a movie that was. Well, funny thing too is Fast and Furious basically started out as a Need for Speed movie before it became a weird car superhero movie that's more like Twisted Metal. And then Need for Speed, which was ripping off of Fast and Furious before it became the crazy superhero movie that it is now, was more of a Fast and Furious movie than it was Need for Speed. So that's like a weird relationship that those two have together. But this one is actually going to be based off of a true story of the race car driver. I don't know where he's from. I'm assuming it's pronounced Jan, not Jan, but Jan Mardenborough, and who was influenced by the video games, and that's why he became a race car driver. So it's not going to be a ripoff of Fast and Furious. It's going to be more of a hyperbolic version of a true story.
Oh.
Based on the game Gran Turismo, I would have guessed
It's
it'd
an
be more
actual
like a
racing
Days.
game.
Yeah, like a Days of Thunder kind of movie.
Yeah. It's not like
Or
Need for Speed or
Speed
whatever, where
Racer
you're
or something.
running from the cops or on roads or anything. Gran Turismo, it's more of like circuits. Similar to like European racing, it is street racing, but it's street circuits. Things that are actually signed up for you to race. They're blocked off and everything like that. So this is going to be based off of a true story.
Oh,
Really?
That's
True
weird.
story.
Yep.
That's weird. Like normally I expect the Fast and Furious movie where we just have these crazy action scenes with cars. Though that's what I expect because
No.
it's a racing video game. We
It's,
expect to make a story about it.
Sony even has a quote. It says that it's the ultimate wish fulfillment tale of a teenage Gran Turismo player whose gaming skills won a series of Nissan competitions to become an actual professional race car driver. So I think that'll be a fun.
Yeah.
I do like movies like this.
I almost expected you to say it was going to be an isekai that where he he was playing the game and he gets sucked in or something.
That's just,
In fact, this seems like the type of movie that our regular viewer GMT would like.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like I said, it sounds more like a Days of Thunder or
Yeah.
I don't know what's that movie, Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
Oh yeah, because that's obviously a parody joke or whatever. But
Right,
yeah.
That's
It's
interesting.
probably going to be closer to the Ford versus Ferrari movie, except instead of being two companies having competition, it's going to follow the life tale in that kind of like ballad way.
okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Let's see, who is it? The cast of the movie all includes. I'm looking, director, writer, scribe. Stranger Things. David Harbour is going to be playing the retired driver who is Jan's mentor. I think David Harbour's a great actor. Like many actors, shitty opinions, but a great actor. And I don't see who's playing Jan yet. Archie Medekwe. I don't know how to say that last name. Medekwe. I don't know this guy, but he's going to be playing Jan, and Orlando Bloom is going to be a fictionalized version of a Gran Turismo Academy boss, Darren Cox. So I think that'll be fun that they're actually bringing in something from the game to influence this based on a true story tale.
That guy, Archie Medekwe, he was in Midsommar.
Oh, okay.
That's the only thing I know him from. Anyway, what were you
Those
gonna-
are obviously the two big ones, is David Harbour and Orlando Bloom. So could be fun. The director is going to be Neil Blomkamp, who was the guy who did District 9, if you remember that. And
I do.
the writer is going to be Jason Hull of American Sniper, which American Sniper is a great movie. So this seems like a pretty good crew to be putting something. Even the scribe who's going to be working with the writer to pen the script is Zach Balin from Creed 3, which I'm not a super big fan of Creed. As a franchise, I don't think it's as good as Rocky, but it's not bad. They're solid films, so if you enjoy them, there's no complaints there. It just seems like a really good cast for making a movie like this. Hopefully it's good. I'll probably watch it. I like Gran Turismo. I like these type of stories, and I like racing stuff in general.
Cool.
So, more interesting things. If we want to start to get into the spicy section, Reggie
Sure.
Fils-Aimé is getting into his dark arc. Right?
But
Yeah, Reggie threatens to go Liam Neeson mode on early Zelda Tears of the Kingdom players who have been participating in the leaks and spoiling and stuff like that.
No, he doesn't work at Nintendo anymore.
No, he doesn't, but he's still very passionate about the stuff. Like,
Yeah.
when Animal Crossing New Horizons came out, he was posting screenshots and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
of all his jobs, he says it was his favorite. But here's a direct tweet from Reggie. I don't know what you want. What I do have are a very particular set of skills I have acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. Just quoting Taken directly.
Oh shoot, who is he quoting? Because he was quote tweeting somebody,
Yeah.
and the account doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. It even says a Twitter user who has since deleted their account posted a photo of them pointing their finger at the title art for Tears of the Kingdom on the Nintendo Switch home menu, which means they have an early version, a leaked version of the game.
Oh,
And that's what
he
he was-
screenshotted it.
Yeah, that's what he was referring to. It's like, don't you ruin this game for people, and And honestly, Reggie might be the anti-hero we need.
Yeah. Retweeting him.
It does. It also means that there is somebody who does have illegitimate copies of Tears of the Kingdom out there already.
Oh yeah, well I heard about that. I mean, it leaked. It's on pirate sites.
And good thing, it's a good thing Nintendo. We know Nintendo's not going to send the Pinkertons to get the copies back or something. Nothing.
No, they might.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know
Gary
how they-
Bowser
I mean,
was
it's
sentenced
digital.
to 40 months in prison just for enabling Nintendo Switch piracy, not even pirating himself.
It's funny that his name is Bowser. That's the thing.
Plus, is that's the guy that basically has a lien on his whole life for the rest
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
life, right?
Pretty much.
You will pay Nintendo this amount for the
25
rest
to
of your life.
30% of his future income
Yeah.
until the debt is completely repaid, which he will never make enough money
is
to repay it,
millions.
so it'll just be the rest of his life.
Yeah.
In fact, his estate will probably also be sold off after his death to cover whatever leftover debt they can.
Yeah. Just,
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's scary. Well, I
That is
retweeted Reggie.
Reggie has such a good sense of humor. I think that's why he was, to date, the best executive to be at Nintendo of America. He did more for them than like their entire marketing team did.
If I make $1 billion in crypto, should I pay off Gary Bowser's debt?
No.
How much
Not
does
at
he owe? Yeah. Well, all
Let's
right.
see.
I won't then.
What else we got? There was a trailer for Convergence, a League of Legends story. It kind of just looks like you're playing as Echo from League of Legends using time travel to reverse your actions every so often in an action platformer. Very kind of Mega Man-y, Metroidvania-y. The mechanics look
What is
solid.
this? A League of Legends spinoff? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, where you play as the character Echo. It looks
Is it
fun,
a two-
but you're only going to care
is it
about
a
it if
2D
you
or
like
3D
me.
game?
It's a 2D side scroller.
Oh.
I think it
Welcome,
might be 3D
John Dillard.
models.
Hey,
but
could
it's
you
a
just
2D.
catch me up real quick on what exactly the crime was? That is outrageous. You got to pay 30% of your income, future income, the rest of your life.
So
what did he do?
he basically made it possible for people to pirate games for the Switch.
Oh, this guy's a hero.
Yeah.
But wasn't he actually hosting like pirated software?
Yeah, he
Like,
did have a large library
owned-
himself.
Yeah.
But he is the one that made like the software and everything that made it possible for people to pirate it.
But like creating an emulator isn't against the law.
It depends on how you
Right.
read the emulator, right?
Oh.
So like the
Did he
reason
hack the-
Yuzu isn't against the law is because it's basically just an
Reverse
empty vessel
engineered.
that you can put your Switch stuff into. While
Right.
his stuff was actually just like they ripped the OS out of the Switch,
Wow.
which is definitely against the law.
So instead of reverse engineering it, he actually
Yeah.
broke whatever encryption there is and
Yeah, he is
pulled out.
100% a hacker. That is what
I
he's
see.
defined as. That hacking is the reason he went to prison. He also there was like this weird network too. This is how people are getting like the illegal copies. It's like one person gets one thing, it goes through and stuff like that. They're trying to do a search of Nintendo of Japan. They think there's like a mole who's been leaking the stuff on the inside. They just don't know who it is.
you would think like how would you get a hold of it in such a way that's not being like key logged? They should be logging everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even in my work where it doesn't really matter, like they can see who checks stuff out, who downloads, like everything gets logged. I'm aware whenever I'm on the VPN, I'm being watched.
Yeah.
How do they not have that?
I don't know if they do, and the guy's just smart enough to cover his tracks enough that like
Yeah.
many people are getting keylogged. They can look at everyone, but they just can't tell that this guy's the one who duped the thing or whatever.
Yeah. Interesting.
I mean, they have some of the most talented programmers when it comes to video games at Nintendo. They can afford them. If anybody's going to figure out how to trick them, it's probably going to be there.
Yeah.
I just don't know why
Do
you
you-
want to.
Do you need a pirated copy of Tears of the Kingdom, Dillard?
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
What is that? The new Metal Gear or something?
Legend of Zelda.
No, this next Legend of Zelda game.
New
Oh,
Metal
do they still
Gear.
make those?
Yeah? But they make those more
It's
often
been
than
7
the new Metal
years,
Gear.
but or 6 years. I guess it's been 6 years, but yeah, they occasionally make one.
It's been even longer for a Metal Gear game.
Like every half a generation they make one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More or less.
Well, unless you count remakes, they did remake one in between.
Well,
Yeah.
So did you see Nerd
I know
Wonders?
they still make them.
Did you see Nerd Wonders comic book? John?
No, Nerd Wonder has a comic book?
Yeah.
Can you,
There's a link
can you hear me?
in the chat.
Yeah, we
Yes. We hear you. Can you hear us?
Let me go. Yeah! Let me go look it up. Give me a second.
Well, it's in the chat if you look in the live
Well, I
stream
gotta go.
chat.
I gotta go open up the chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I gotta
okay.
go to YouTube.
Yeah.
I closed out my YouTube when I got here, so my audio wouldn't be messing with me. I closed it all the way out.
I see. Well, in the meantime, did you want to go? How long will it take you to go over your magazine
Oh, it probably won't take very long. at all.
survey?
Uh,
Okay.
We could do that. Because some of the only other things we'd have to talk about is Blizzard asked ChatGPT to write the next expansion of World of Warcraft, only to be disappointed. It came back with Return to Shadowlands. It's like, yeah, nobody wants that.
Weird.
We also had Pokemon fans collectively decided who had the stupidest shoes in the whole franchise for some reason. Turns out it was Irida. Congrats.
Okay.
There's a lot of stupid shoes in Pokemon. And a Honkai Star Rail player grinded for 65 hours in a single week just to prove that you can already get 300 pulls for free without spending a single dime on it. But that's,
Nice.
again, grinding 65 hours. Who has that?
Oh, this book looks fun. I can't get the book right now. I can't afford it, but I will.
Yeah. Well, if she decides to come on our show, we'll show it.
Yeah, yeah. We should
Yeah,
definitely
behemoth.
contact her.
Yeah.
I don't know if you already have or not, but you have my blessing.
Not about this. I have, I've basically been shilling it for all day long, and yeah, she's currently up to $1,200 now. So she's doing great.
Okay.
All day long. Has this only been out for a day or?
Yeah, came out
just
this
today.
morning, 8 a.m. or so. Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
What? One day, $1,255 already. 62% of her goal. And she has it set for 50
Good job.
days.
Nerd Wonder.
Yeah.
She said she wanted to do stuff for kids that make people smile. That was her decision, I guess, last week or something like that. She stated on Twitter earlier this week. So
Yeah, the description though: Taha Litbug, an ex-guerrilla fighter, now wandering nudist. Wandering nudist.
what? Where does it say that?
I don't know, it's her character, not mine. The second character description underneath in the campaign.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Nerd Wonder does have a really good sense of humor, so. And quite the reputation, so I'm not surprised
there it is.
that it got that much funding in just today.
I guess
Great. I'll go look at that later.
I guess this isn't exactly for children. I didn't even look at it. I just backed it. I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna back it.
Damn, simp.
Yeah.
Hey,
So, what's happening with your-
he's a strong supporter of Comicsgate. Can you blame him?
That's right.
Now it
Okay,
got me
so-
thinking of the Wandering Jew.
The Wandering Jew. I do have the
That
results.
Jewish guy that Jesus cursed to wander the earth forever,
Is that me?
never die. You never heard of the Wandering Jew?
No.
Never heard of that.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like an immortal.
Okay.
I guess Jesus was taking up all the road, carrying his cross, and he was like, "Hey, hurry up, stop resting. I want to get past here." And Jesus is like, "I'll take my rest, but you will never rest." And the guy lives forever now. He's been cursed by Jesus.
Is he a wandering nudist Jew?
No, he's a wandering Jew
Why
Well,
did you
you
start
know-
thinking about that?
He might be the second.
because of the wandering nudist comment.
Because there, depending on whether you accept certain secondary sources of the Jewish faith or whether you're a Christian who doesn't even have this in your book, Cain either died like at the age of like 700 ever, or he's still alive today, depending on how your interpretation of things. So there could be two wandering Jews wandering around.
Cain wasn't Jewish.
Oh,
Well, he was technically pre-Jew.
oh!
What's that?
He was
Technically,
technically pre-Jew.
what? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Anyway, responses.
Pre-Abraham.
I have the yeah, because technically you're not Jewish until Abraham comes around, but he's the ancestral line of him.
Yeah.
We got 21 responses is all we got, but that has helped us decide what's going to be in the X Dynamis Chaos magazine.
That's a ton. I thought you were gonna get like 6.
I thought I was going to get like 6 too, so yeah. It does look like the majority of the people who responded are actually interested in backing the campaign, which is good. There's some people that are just like, I'd buy it, but I wouldn't back it, which is fair. We even had some people who said like, I'm not interested because I can't justify spending money, which is also fair. And there was another person like, I'm not interested, but I would donate a small amount to help. So there was nobody who said I have no interest whatsoever, and that's pretty exciting, you know.
If they're filling out the survey, it's unlikely that they would have no interest.
Yeah, I mean, they could have been nice. There are actually random people who just like filling out surveys. I don't know why. That's just like a thing people do.
I mean, can you call them people?
Legally I have to.
Yeah.
We have
Metal's
the
mad
price
because he
point
likes
too.
filling out random surveys.
I don't fill out random surveys. If I bought something, or if like a game company for something I play sends me a survey, I will pretty much fill it out. But I don't go out of my way to find surveys. The price point that most people seem to agree on, 25 USD, which I think is fine. I was actually hoping it would be anywhere higher than the 20 mark, but the 25 is fine. I think that's probably what we're going to go with.
That was the average.
Yeah, that was the one that got the
most votes.
most results.
I think that's what I voted for.
What got the second most results?
It was 20. There were several price points that got 0 results, but the one that got a result that was the least was 50, which was the highest that I was going to put on there. Wasn't expecting anyone. It was probably you, Dillard, that put the 50.
It was not.
Oh, what did you put? I can actually look if I wanted to.
Yeah, go ahead and look. I forgot.
All right.
I know it certainly wasn't 50.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I just assumed it was you because
I thought this survey was anonymous.
No, I collected emails.
You could have put an email like drunk@beer.com.
You
That's
could
my
have, yeah.
favorite anonymous email.
Yes, under
Yes,
50,
please.
John
What
Dillard
I
at
would've-
gmail.com.
You did put 50.
You did.
Did I put 50?
You put 50. I assumed it was you because you're like, whatever the highest people should pay for it is what they should pay for.
Oh, that does sound like me. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Story
And
wise,
please, from now on, when you go over an answer, please tell me which one I picked.
let's see. One of the important questions was since the first magazine, and it's going to feature the original chapter of X Dynamis Chaos in there as one of the 2 features. It was, should we just leave the original in there by default? Should we allow it to be like a stretch goal to be redone by somebody else, or should we prioritize part of the budget for it to be redone? And the vast majority of the answers were, I'm good either way.
No.
Yeah.
I
But
feel like I voted for redoing it.
I think we
I
had
think.
5 people voted for prioritizing the budget for getting it redone, and 5 people voted for save the money and put it as a stretch goal. So it was about even on that, and
Stretch
then like
goal.
most people just said I'm good either way. I think that's probably what we'll do is I'll find somebody who might want to do it, but they won't start unless we reach a stretch goal,
Yeah,
and I'll just put in the original chapter as a placeholder.
sounds good.
Yeah. For which story should be the second feature, it's actually a tie in number of votes, but this is also why I put a second question for which one you're interested in the most. And the one that people were interested in the most was Case File Redacted, which is a paranormal thriller, kind of similar to something like Hellboy or how like Men in Black deal with aliens or whatever. And I already do have, I don't have all the panels written down for it, but I have the page synopsis for every single page for a 20-page issue of that. So I think that's probably what we're going to go for. People, by a large margin, seem to be interested in that.
Was there one like a sci-fi or space thing?
Yes, there was. It was called Binary.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I think that's what I voted for.
You were probably the only person who voted for it. Because that's the
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
I forgot what I voted for. Damn.
I can look. Let me jump back over to the question itself.
Sorry. I need to get a drink.
I know there was a few options. I can't remember all the options either. Did you see Marsupial's shorts?
Here, I can actually go to your email and look at every single thing you voted on.
Yeah.
They're PJs. They're
He has a pair of pants that actually have that are green with yellow print all over them.
You
This
selected.
sound what?
Yeah, there's Zelda.
Yeah.
You selected the Outstanding Jackrabbit,
Oh.
which was the one about the cheerleader who becomes the bunny girl, the speedster superhero.
Ooh, that sounds good too, actually.
Yeah.
Who selected
yeah.
that, John or me?
No, that was Dillard.
Wait. The bunny girl speedster.
There was another one about like
I think I did select that one,
there was
actually.
one that you said something about some sort of a familial drama happening. I forget what it was. But that one also sounded interesting.
Well, you checked 2 different ones on the previous question. The other one was Bloodcraith, which was a fantasy story about fighting vampires during the Holy Roman Empire. And, these were for the features, for the comic. There was also a pulp feature.
Oh, maybe it was that one. Maybe
Yeah,
it was like
yeah.
a brother and sister.
So you both of them were kind of familial. For the pulp story, you put a chronicling of a planet called Mira, which is a high fantasy adventure about siblings' lives after their father died. And Beyond the Terror
Yeah,
Threshold.
that sounds good.
And Beyond the Terror Threshold is a horror thriller about a young boy that has to enter the realm of nightmares to save his brothers.
Yeah, I like
And that was the
shit
one
too.
you selected. Which I think, if I recall, let me actually go back to all the questions. I think Beyond the Terror Threshold was the one that people picked widely. Yes.
Like, I would have preferred it
50%
if
of
it was-
people preferred Beyond the Terror Threshold.
Like, I would have preferred the premise of Beyond the Terror Threshold, but like, no, I would have preferred the premise of the first one, but with the setting of the Beyond the Terror Threshold.
Yeah.
I bet you're glad that I didn't submit any stories to the magazine.
Oh, nobody submitted any. This was just a survey. These are all stories that I've read.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
If the magazine's successful, I might allow people to submit stories in the future, but this is just issue 1 to see if we can even get off the ground, right? And I think that was all the important stuff, because the other stuff was just like asking what people were interested in the book, which it seems like aside from the features, the things that people wanted the most was letters from the readers. That's fine. If people want to send any in, I can fill some pages, but that's the hardest stuff. Like, you actually have to have readers send in letters. I can fill in with shorts and other things, you know. Huge margin too. It's like over a third of people out of all the options. And the last thing was
I think I did not pick that at all.
Yeah, I don't think you did either, but that's just most people picked it.
Like, I think you even had an option like it was like, what do you like? Well, pick a couple, and then what do you like? Fuck, like,
Yeah.
that was like the last thing on my list.
Yeah.
How would I want to read comments from readers?
And that's the one that people were most interested in. But when you actually look at like all the other ones, letters from the readers only was like 50% of people voted on that in the mass list, right? The one that got the most votes were single illustration, gags, and cartoons. I'm like, well, that's probably the most fun thing. And then fan art, which is like, sure, if I've got plenty of fan art to put in there. If I've got fan art, I'll put it in pages and stuff like that. And the last
Rick
thing
Piper
was
fan art don't count.
well, I've got more than just Rick Piper fan art. I could put in some of the entries from the fan art contest, like the one that you did.
Nah.
Yeah. But what sort of goals, stretch goals, and bonus perks would you enjoy? Most people wanted a poster because it's a magazine, and like, what do you usually get with a magazine? Like, there's a poster. I probably won't be able to actually put it in the magazine, like an inslet, but you'll be able to get a poster with it. And then after that was a collectible or playable trading card, and then stickers. So.
Hey, Phantasmagorical came for the last
Yeah. Hey.
minute.
Yeah. Somebody said creating a background character. Like, all the stories are pretty much done. I could probably sneak one in there somewhere, but that would have to be like a pretty big perk, you know. But yeah, that's the results. Yeah, that's it. Didn't take too long to go over.
Cool.
So I will do a write up later, but I don't have time to do that now. In fact, we actually have to wrap up the show because I have to go walk a dog and then run another show after this on somebody else's channel while they're on hiatus. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for showing up.
Bye.
If you enjoyed the
See
show,
ya.
please share it out with somebody else who might like it. And if you really enjoy the show, consider giving a donation to streamlabs.com/vomitoriumlive. Really helps us out and will definitely help fund this book so I can start getting artwork and other stuff before we actually do any other crowdfunding. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye for now.
Yay!